Kane, can you give us an update on the injury situations, Ross after his blow in the nets yesterday, and how Trent is tracking?
Yeah, Ross is fine, just a bit of a knock, but no major, that's for sure, which is great. And Colin's tracking nicely, and Trent we're going to have another look at today before deciding anything tomorrow.
What does Trent have to do today to convince you that he can get through a test match?
I think you look at it as a sort of a long-ish term in terms of this whole series decision. So he has tracked really nicely, felt really good yesterday. So a number of factors in that decision.
Would it potentially influence the balance of your side in terms of maybe playing Trent but having an extra fast bowler in there to share the workload around? As in, would Mitch Santner's position come under scrutiny, or is he nailed on, do you think?
Basically, the decision with Trent will be about Trent and the role that he can either play for us in this game and what we think we might need from him or not. So that'll be how the decision's made.
Kane, how big is this series for you as a team? Obviously, it's been 2 very, very good years for New Zealand, but probably argue that this is up there with the biggest test you've faced in that time, Australia at home.
Yeah, Aussie are always a really tough opposition to face, and in their own backyard, they're very, very clinical, as we've seen over a long period of time, but recently as well against Pakistan. So, it's one of our series within the Test Championship that is up for points, which is all important in terms of making steps towards a final at some point in time. But it's much more about the cricket that we want to play, coming into it, trying to commit to that, and focus on the things that are important to our team.
Is there a different feel about this New Zealand side now and the confidence you've come to Australia with compared to maybe 4 years ago or previous teams that you've brought to Australia?
There's a different team. Some younger guys that have come in and some older guys that perhaps have moved on. But those guys have been playing nicely, and it's wherever you go and whatever opposition that you come up against, it's just adapting as well and as quickly as you can. And it's been a fairly quick turnaround from the England series at home, such as the nature of international cricket. But very important that we look to make those adjustments quickly. As we know, we're going to have to be at our best against a strong Australian side.
When I say that, is there more confidence about this group? I mean, New Zealand always sort of seem to come to Australia as an underdog, I guess, But is there more confidence about this group than what there has been in the past?
Like more than 4 years ago, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to remember the exact level of confidence 4 years ago, but at the same time, it's a really exciting challenge. We know that it's always a tough challenge when we come over here, and Aussie always have a very strong side and are well accustomed, obviously, to their own conditions. So the guys are looking forward to the challenge.
Kane, the curator says it could feel like 50 degrees out there on the pitch tomorrow. I mean, how do you guys cope with that?
Well, if it's 50, that could be quite challenging for anyone within the ground, whether it's a player or not. But yeah, I mean, at the same time, it's a dry heat. Fluids, in terms of being here a few days prior, which is all important to acclimatising to the conditions. But we'll have to see how it feels at the time and try and monitor some of those things as you go. But definitely a factor, especially here.
Be a moment's silence and black armbands. How are your boys coping with the tragedy back home? Yeah,
obviously thoughts go out to all involved from the incident on Whakaari or White Island, and it's very hard to comprehend, and certainly when Mother Nature doesn't give any warning and a tragedy like this happens, it's such a shock, and to have Australians, our sort of friends and family that are nearby involved along with Kiwis is a very sad time, and it'll be marked with armbands going into the match, absolutely.
Kane, international teams have had trouble dismissing David Warner this summer, if not for any runs at least. You play with him in Hyderabad. Have you got a few tricks up your sleeve to get him out cheaply?
look, David's a world-class player, and a lot of teams have tried a lot of different things, and sometimes you tip your hat when they come out and play as well as David's been playing for a long period of time. We'll be giving it our very best, but we know it's a tough challenge, a lot of good batters in that lineup, and overall a very good side. So it is about, once again, the things that we want to achieve collectively as a group, the plans that we want to go out and set ourselves and try and, I guess, apply ourselves. It is different cricket here. That's why you do need to adapt and do it as quickly as possible. And, there are times where it can be hard to perhaps dismiss certain players, but trying to play the long game, stay in the fight for long periods of time is important. But it will be trying to focus on our cricket, that's for sure.
We just had Tim Payne in here before, and he's saying that your wicket is the one that they prize the most. What's it like for you when you step out, and do you notice that the energy goes up amongst the fielding group and things like that?
No, I don't know. Just go out and try and execute your plans as best you can, and whether it's myself or anybody else in the team, it's trying to sort of do those simple things for long periods of time just to try and contribute to moving your team in the right direction. So that's the focus for me and all the other guys in the group, and it'll be important going into tomorrow that is the idea, whether that's with bat or ball.
And if you had to choose one of the Aussie guys as the key wicket, who would it be?
Oh, all of them. Hard to pinpoint one. I think if you're looking at performing as a group, naturally you need to take 20 wickets. So we know that there's a lot of depth in that batting lineup. We don't sort of want to focus on one or two, but once again, more the approach that we want to take in will be the focus.
Kane, we're in an era where, just a lot of success in T20 cricket immediately makes you a superstar of the generation. So you think the likes of Neil Wagner and BJ Watling have so many runs and wickets, over the last few years. Is it unfair that they don't get that due? They don't get that recognition?
It just is what it is. T20 is a format that promotes that sort of thing. It's fast-paced and ball's getting hit to all parts, and I think they have bails that have lights in them, and there's all these different parts to it that can make it quite exciting, and then you throw in the franchise comps all around the world. So it's it is different, but Test cricket, I think in any player's mind still is the pinnacle of the game, and those two epitomise that, despite not playing the white ball format. So huge players for us, and have contributed to our team for a long period of time in large ways.
And just one about Lockie Ferguson. You've not had a genuine fast bowler in your ranks since you took over. So how tempting is it to play him, especially in conditions like these? Yeah,
Lockie and Adam Milner have been sort of a couple of fast bowlers that we've had for a little while, and it's great that we've got Lockie in our squad, and exciting to consider him along with other guys that are possibilities and playing over here. All bring different strengths, which is a good problem to have. So really exciting to have a guy in our camp that can bowl at that speed.
Kane, you guys haven't played a pink ball test for almost 2 years. Australia, it's been less than 2 weeks. Does that become a factor in itself, as well as adjusting to the inevitable changing conditions over here?
I think that the changing conditions, adapting is probably the first step. Whether you played with a pink ball or not, sort of outside of our control. A lot of the guys have played with one before, so the preparation over here has been important to make some of those adjustments as quickly as possible. It's always hard to know what sort of the perfect preparation is, but what we've got is a few days prep over here training and straight into the match. So the guys are excited at the challenge and the spectacle that is pink ball cricket, which attracts some nice crowds and a pretty good atmosphere.
Kane, I don't think anyone in this test squad has played test cricket at any of the 3 venues this summer. Ian Smith this morning suggested that managing the awe factor, especially in Melbourne at the Boxing Day test, will play a role in how you perform. Is that something you guys have addressed as a squad?
I suppose it's an exciting opportunity. I guess if we look ahead to Boxing Day, a lot of history that sort of surrounds the game that's played then, and a lot of people enjoy watching it, and I know a lot of the guys would have grown up watching that game as well on Boxing Day. So I suppose it'll be different for everyone, the romance, I suppose, of playing in that match, but a pretty exciting opportunity too. And at the end of the day, it's 1 out of 3 matches that we have over here in this series, and it's much more about the cricket that we want to be playing consistently throughout not just this series, but other matches that we have coming up as well, and keep trying to build on those performances.